Today, I'm going to the Upper East Side of New York City for the first time, searching for real Cantonese Chinese food. We're far from bustling Midtown Manhattan and very far from Chinatown. Will I find good Chinese food in this neighborhood? Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show. If you have a minute, I have an opinion. In this video, I'm headed to a restaurant called Pig Heaven. A viewer of the Minute Review Show recommended this spot. This classic Chinese restaurant has been around for nearly 35 years and appears to be a neighborhood favorite. I will try several dishes to see what they have to offer. Please remember to stick around till the end of the video when I'll reveal my star of the show. Now let's go! Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show, and today I'm in the Upper East Side. And the Upper East Side is also called the Silk Stocking District. And what I was wondering was, are there any Cantonese restaurants up in the Upper East Side that would fit the bill, that would have genuine Cantonese food? So one of my viewers had mentioned that Pig Heaven might be such a place, so I decided to come here, and this is what the menu looks like. The place is called Pig Heaven, and there's a large pig theme going on in this restaurant. The walls are adorned with pig elements, artistic elements. There's pig decorations, and apparently this is a pretty popular restaurant. It's been around for about 35 years. According to the website, I believe it started in 1990. What we're going to do today is that we're going to try about 5 dishes, get a few key dishes to see how they do their Cantonese dishes. As with a lot of Manhattan restaurants, there are a combination of items on their menu, from Cantonese to maybe some other types of Chinese. So we're going to take a look at the menu right now, and I'll show you what's in it. Now's the time to take a look at Pig Heaven's menu. It's a very nice menu, a black colored menu. And in the front, we have a whole bunch of their accolades. They're on a New York Times list back in the early 90s, 1993. Here's some articles about them in the New York Times, New York Magazine. So yeah, apparently this place is an institution on the Upper East Side. So in our first page, we have the Pig Heaven signature dishes. These are the spare ribs and the Peking duck. We have appetizers. And then let's move on to the dim sum. These are probably all steamed to order. They all range between $9 and $12. And then we have some soups. Now these are the pretty common American Chinese types of soups, like wonton soup, hot and sour soup, egg drop soup, things of that sort. I should also mention that this menu is probably going to be geared towards American Chinese food. Next we have barbecue pork specials, and these are basically, I believe they're intended to be entrees. So you have a small and large portion of their pork butt, which is basically their tasiu and their Cantonese roast duck. And also I must point out that this menu doesn't have any Chinese on it. So let's keep going down the list. Another American Chinese dish is mushu pork, sweet and sour pork. And then now we have some seafood over here. The seafood section is a bit more expensive, $30 and above. Next we have the poultry section. And once again, this leans towards more American Chinese fare, all about $22. Some more American Chinese with beef. And then we have some vegetables. And then we have some bean curd. So bean curd basically means tofu. That's the old way of saying tofu. Next we have steamed healthy bamboo basket. Now this is very common in old school type Chinese restaurants. They give you the option of steaming your vegetables and your proteins instead of stir frying. Next we have noodles and rice. These are a little cheaper. They're about $17 to $20. And then here are the desserts. And finally on the last page we have the chef specials. They have Chinese American dishes such as Happy Family, scallop and beef sizzle, things like that. So we're going to move on to the drink section. The next menu that we're going to look at is the drinks list. And this one, there are basic cocktails for $14, classic cocktails, beer for $7, and soft drinks. For those interested in wine, here's the wine list. We have some whites, we have some reds, actually not reds, rosés. And then we have some red wines and sparkling wines. I also wanted to point out something about this menu. In a lot of old school Chinese restaurants, you have things like this little pepper on the side, and also it has a white background, red title, and also the black print. So the way that this is formatted is definitely old school, but I think that fits the theme of the neighborhood. The neighborhood tends to skew in an older population. My companions who joined me ordered a Shirley Temple and a lychee martini. Okay, the first dish that has come to the table is the sesame noodles. We ordered this. I believe this is a cold dish, and yes, just from the feel of it, it is a cold dish. Here's the sesame sauce, probably made with peanut butter, but we'll find out. But it also could be made with sesame paste. I could probably tell once I try this. There's some cucumbers, fresh cucumbers. Yeah, it's pretty much edamame, cucumbers, and some sesame sauce. So we're going to give this a try very soon. Okay, now we're going to mix the sesame noodles. And as you can see, it's a pretty good portion. It's about a 7-inch plate, and we're going to get that sauce into every strand. The first dish that I'm going to try is the sesame noodles. Now this is what it looks like. Sesame noodles are served cold. There are little bits of vegetables in here. I also forgot to mention that there are some carrots in this dish. So let's try a mouthful of this. We're gonna put everything in my mouth. Let's try this. Okay. What I'm tasting is that this is definitely, I think it's peanut butter, not sesame sauce, because I have the experience of eating sesame sauce at hot pots, and this doesn't really taste like a sesame sauce. I think it's peanut butter. What I'm doing is that I'm tasting the sauce. There's some vinegar element to it. There's something sour in there. Not sure exactly what that is, but it's in there, along with the savoriness of the peanut butter. The cucumbers, I can say, are crunchy, as is the carrots. Yeah, this isn't bad. Not bad at all. I feel that if you're having this dish, this is actually something that is good to increase your appetite. So it's not bad. I think it's a good starter. It's plentiful, and you can definitely share this with 3 or 4 people. One of the dishes that we ordered is the Yangcha pan-fried noodles with shrimp and chicken. Now this particular dish looks pretty good. It's made with a gravy, as you can see on the bottom. It's a brown gravy, and there are some fried noodles on top. Now these don't really look like the Chinatown type fried noodles, but yeah, I mean, it's still credibly crispy, so it will give you the same mouthfeel. Next we have some broccoli, we have some snow peas, here's some chicken, and here's some shrimp, you can see. And most of the sauce is concentrated in the middle. I'm pulling up the center, and we do see some carrots and some baby corn, and also some, wow, this is something that I haven't seen in a long time, some straw mushrooms. And we also have some onions. So yes, this looks like a very old school type of fried noodle. But the one thing that I can tell for sure is that the noodles aren't deep fried like the ones that you get in Chinatown. So there doesn't seem to be that oily component to the fried noodles. So we're gonna give this a try and see what it's like. Okay, the next dish I'm gonna try is the Yangcha pan-fried noodles. And that's funny because I've never heard pan-fried noodles called Yangcha, but this one has 2 proteins. It has the chicken and the shrimp. Let's try this and see what it's like. We'll start with the shrimp. Okay, shrimp is perfectly fine. These are about small to medium sized. They're meaty. Let's try the chicken. Okay, chicken is perfectly fine, and they went through the trouble to velvet the chicken, so it's nice and soft, very delicious. And there's one other item that I forgot to mention, which is this one. Now, this one was at the bottom of the plate, and it's tofu. So let's try this. This is what you call firm tofu. They put a slice of firm tofu into that dish. I don't know how many they have in there. I think this might be the only one, but it's good. It provides another protein for the dish, which is fine. They have baby corn. They also have some carrots, and they have plenty of broccoli here. Broccoli is my favorite, so yeah, let's try this. Now, that broccoli has soaked up a ton of that sauce. What I can say about the sauce is that there's a bit of sweetness in that sauce. The sauce tastes very much like a generalized beef and broccoli type sauce. For those of you who know what beef and broccoli tastes like at Chinese American restaurants, that's what it tastes like. So generally, the sauce in this noodle is very beef and broccoli like. I happen to like that. This is actually a little different from what you get in Chinatown, but once again, the focus here is more American Chinese, which is perfectly fine. For those of you who know, it's a genre of Chinese food in and of itself. Yes, I just had the noodles. The noodles are exactly how I described before. They're not deep fried, they're pan seared. So the ones in Chinatown are more oily. This is a little more dry, it doesn't hold all that oil in the deep frying process. So the flavor is a bit different. Some people would like it this way. It's perfectly fine. It tastes very good. The best thing about this dish is the sweetness of that gravy, of that sauce. So yeah, thumbs up for American Chinese food. Okay, the next dish that we got is the sweet and sour pork. Now, I ordered this because I think this is a good barometer as to how good the Cantonese portion of their menu is. So what we have here is sweet and sour pork with a batter. And these are actually pretty big pork pieces. I would be very curious to see if some of these are ribs. I don't think they are, but we will eat these and find out. What I can see is that there's a lot of that orangey sauce. This is more of the Chinese American type of sweet and sour pork. The interesting thing here is that in many Chinese restaurants, they have the pepper and they have the onions. This one, they just have the carrots and the pineapple. So yeah, it's interesting. It has less vegetables than most sweet and sour porks that you get in Chinatown. It looks, once again, this looks pretty good, and we're gonna try this pretty soon. The next dish that we ordered is the sweet and sour pork. From appearance-wise, this is a very American Chinese sweet and sour pork. Why do I say that? Because visibly you can see a thick coating of batter on the outside of the pork. It also comes with the customary vegetables. You have the pineapple and you have some bell pepper, and also there's tiny bits of onion in there. As I said before, this dish surprisingly has less vegetables than the one that you have in Chinatown. So, this is a bit surprising, but in any case, let's give this a try. First, I'm gonna dip my chopsticks into the sauce and see what that's like. It's a gloopy orange sauce that we're used to if you like American Chinese food. Okay, totally American Chinese. Very nice. Next, let's try the pork. Now look at this. Wow, this is like a golf ball size. Let's see what it's like. Okay, now let me show you the coating. Now this is the coating of that sweet and sour pork. It's pretty thick, very doughy, and it tastes exactly what American Chinese sweet and sour porks taste like. It has that nice light sweet and sour flavor. It's a little more to the sweet than to the sour side. And I have to say something about the pork. The pork doesn't feel like it's made out of the pork that is like pork butt that's fatty. It's a more leaner cut. At least that is what this piece is like. The dough is still crispy despite the time that has gone by. And yeah, it's totally delicious. In fact, when I bite into the dough, it's reminiscent of Italian zeppolis for some reason. Just imagine zeppoli coated in that delicious sweet and sour sauce. So yeah, there's a very good version of an American Chinese sweet and sour dish. So you should try this. Okay, now this looks really good. I ordered tasiu because once again, I wanted to see how credible the Cantonese food is up here. So tasiu is basically the bellwether of good Cantonese food. So take a look at this. We ordered this. It's about $20 an order. This is considered a small order. There's about, let's say about 8 inches of tasiu here, and they're sliced and they lie flat. I'm going to take a piece and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to use my fingers. Okay, it's nice and warm. And look at this. Look how big this tasio is. This piece has to be about 3 inches long. And you can see the streaks of fat over here, It has that nice familiar red color with some roasted bits on top. Let's do the pull test and see what it's like. Okay, now you can see how springy that is. Now that portends a good tasio. So we're gonna give that a try. Oh, and I also should mention that this particular dish doesn't have the soy sauce that a lot of Chinese restaurants have in Chinatown. So this one is straight tasio, straight roast pork without any other additions to this dish. The next dish that I'm going to try is the roast pork, the tasio. This tasio looks like regular Cantonese roast pork. So there's a little bit of that red color. There's some marbling in that pork meat. Let's give this one a try. Okay. There's the sweetness in the tasio. Not overly sweet, but you can taste the sweetness. There's also the nice marbling of the meat, so it's juicy. So they did choose a very good cut of pork butt for this particular piece of tasio. Yeah, I like it. It's not bad. As I said earlier in my video, we're looking for a credible piece of tasio, of roast pork, and this is good. I have to say that although the center piece of the roast pork is moist, there are some bits that are a little tougher than moist. So yeah, it's sort of like a mixed bag here, but the flavor is there. You taste the sweetness. You taste a little bit of that bean curd that they use to make tasio. The best thing about this is that it's not overly sweet. Some places now commit the sin of making tasio overly sweet, dip it in those honey sauces. So this is a nice traditional tasio. I like it. That roast pork will go great with rice. So you should try this. This is one of their signature dishes. Okay, we ordered the roast duck. This is considered to be Cantonese roast duck. We have an entire leg here. On the bottom, it looks like there's a duck breast right here. And we have a duck back over here. This portion doesn't seem to be huge. We got the leg, but it maybe got about 5 inches of meat on this side with the skin. So let's take a look at what it looks like. And there appears to be, yeah, it appears to be pretty juicy here. Not bad. Comes with a little sauce here. These are the duck drippings. Looks very flavorful. And here's the breast. And let's touch this a little bit. And yes, this duck breast is extremely juicy. You can see the juices as I squeeze it. So yes, this looks actually very promising, and we will try it very soon. Thank you. Okay, the next dish I'm going to try is the roast duck, the Cantonese roast duck, and this is what it looks like. This particular skin, I'm touching it and it's fused pretty crispy. So I'm going to start eating the duck breast because this is the juiciest looking part. Let's try this. Oh yes, yes indeed. This is the juiciest part of the duck. That breast is very juicy, very flavorful, filled with the spices that you have when they make this duck, with all the spices that they put in the cavity. The flavorings have penetrated into the meat, and it's quite good. The interesting thing is that they provided a sauce to this duck. There was a lot of that sauce on the bottom of the plate. I'm going to give it a try. It's a dark sauce. It's full of flavor, so let's try this. Here's the sauce. Okay, a very interesting sauce. The sauce actually tastes like a sweet bean sauce with a whole bunch of spices that I can't identify, but the flavor profile is more bean-like and sweet. So yeah, that sauce actually reminds me of things that I've had in the past a long time ago. So this is a very old style Chinatown type flavor for that sauce. And yeah, I think it's unique. It's good that they preserve that way of making the duck, preserve that flavor. And it's all of that flavor is embedded in this duck. So yeah, not bad. Let's try the duck leg. That duck skin is nice and crispy, very nice. Okay, I was wrong. The duck and the breast are both equally juicy. Absolutely nice. Now's the time for your favorite part of the show. Ta-da! The star of the show. And today, it was very clear cut to me what the star of the show would be. It is one of those times when I have to jog my memory back and remember flavors of my youth. And what is that, you may ask? It's that sauce in the roast duck. This particular roast duck, I have to say, there's nothing super special about it, but the one thing that really does stand out is that sauce. That braising, I wouldn't say braising sauce, that sauce that they use to brine the duck in and then roast it. This sauce is special. It's a very beany sauce. It's a type of sauce that hasn't touched these lips since childhood. If you could imagine the Chinese bean sauce, this tastes just like that. So I have to say, because this is a very rare flavor that you get in Chinese food these days, this indeed is my star of the show. The meal is over, and what a meal it was. Now, before I talk about the meal, I wanted to talk a little bit about this dining room that we're in. As we walked into the dining room, it's a long, typical New York City dining room. We're in the Upper East Side, remember, so most restaurants are going to be small. It's about a rectangular size, and also there are all these pig decorations that are around the restaurant. There's a bar up front so that you could have some drinks with your friends before you get seated. It seems to be a very cozy neighborhood spot, and it's been around for 35 years, so they must be doing something right. But what I can say about this restaurant, in summary, the overall feeling is that this is an old school American Chinese restaurant, and in a neighborhood where there aren't that many new school Chinese restaurants or Chinatown style restaurants, this is a pretty good option because they do make a credible tasiu, roast pork. They do make a credible Cantonese roast duck. If you have those two, you'll be fine. Your cravings for Cantonese food will be satisfied. The other dishes skew towards more American Chinese. There are also other dishes on that menu that I showed you that you can have. So if you didn't like the ones that I ordered, you definitely have more American Chinese type dishes. Yeah, so if you happen to be in the Upper East Side, we're here on 3rd Avenue and 80th Street. Oh, also, if you're visiting the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is literally 3 blocks away, you can come over here and enjoy your food, your Chinese food. So yeah, I'm glad I came here, and thanks to the viewer who had recommended this place. I appreciate your suggestion. Thanks for watching the Minute Review Show. I want to remind everyone that I have plenty of playlists. I recently added several playlists, a cheap food playlist, a Shanghai dumpling playlist. So there's a lot of stuff that you can look at on my channel page. You could find what you'd like. Also, I have a channel membership. It's $3 a month. I have a few perks there. I don't have many because it's just me, but I'll try to give you as many perks as I can. There's also another level that's about $9.99 a month. So if you would like to support the channel that way, please do. Also, I have a merchandise shop that you can purchase some products from. So if you feel like supporting the channel, please do. And I would really appreciate it. Till next time, I'll see you in my next video. The final check before tip is $122.97.